Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Divine Brothers podcast. Coming to you here the start of 2026. Feeling pretty, pretty tired today, but otherwise, still here, still living life. Yeah. Chase, Austin, what's on your mind? How's it going out there?
You look like there's a blizzard out there.
It's just cold. It's that time of year where everything's just dark all the time. And the when I walk the dog, it's just it was a windy, cold day. Like so when the wind hits you, it feels like there's little knives going in your skin. So I had to bundle up a little bit. But I tell you what, that little dog, tough, doesn't mind. He can handle any cold, any pain. He just goes and has a good time no matter what.
That's good. You remind me, I saw you all dressed up. I was thinking of that movie, The Thing in Antarctica. They're all dressed like that. It was a great
Yeah,
movie. It's truly a special movie. Yeah.
this is me every day, man. This is me every day. It gets really cold in Beijing.
When you wear all those layers, do you allow yourself to let yourself go a little bit because nobody can really tell? A little pudgy, a little, a little fatter.
Not me personally, but I've talked to people who talk about that, like with the winter weight idea, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Hibernation, we call it. Yeah.
I had my friend Wally. He was Wally. First of all, I like that name, Wally.
Good name
He
for a
he
robot. Yeah.
he's the kind of dude I really respected Wally because Wally, what you could tell, he wasn't the brightest guy, but he had such profound simplicity that you respected him. Like he became a middle school English teacher, not a handsome man, but a good guy, like good, always just joking and stuff like that. Got himself a Chinese wife, had his family, made enough money, went back to Texas, settled down, bought a house. He's just that was his life. He was just totally happy. He's like, I got my house, got my wife, got my kids. I'm done. Like he's like, I did everything I ever wanted to do, and like you could feel the contentment radiating from that guy. And he used to really believe in the every winter I put on weight, every spring I take it off.
Hmm.
'Cause he's a runner, and he couldn't run in the cold, so he would run in the spring and the summer and stuff like that.
Sure, sure. I can't go outside. I tend to just go to the fridge. That's where I go. So it's just, yeah, it's the same concept, man. If I can't go out, I'm just going to eat and gorge myself. So,
Sure, sure. Oh, off to a great start, Austin. Jesus Christ! All right, we're waiting
your
for the
name is
third meal.
passionless and unshakable, but it should be passionless and useless. That'd be
Should
even
be
better. Yeah.
awkward and silent. That's what it should be.
Oh, I didn't know I was here to break up the silences. So certainly there's things happening that we could talk about.
Oh my God.
Sure.
ICE is shooting people in the US, you know? That's
I had a client today totally have a meltdown over Trump. She's convinced that he's going to take Greenland and it's going to cause a separation between Europe and America and NATO is going to fall. And there was crying, there was tears, and I just sat there silently smirking. I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, he's just a talker.
There was a great Reddit post this week about it was people bitching about their therapists and like I had to get rid of my therapist today. And apparently there was one. It's the video was there was this black woman and she was falling asleep in the session and it was like a bad falling asleep, like a mouth open, like
Oh God.
you know. But the other one, the
This is
lady in the
my
first
competition.
the,
Yes.
the, the other lady was like, she's like, I had to fire my therapist because I could see she was playing games in her glasses while she was the reflection of the game was in the glasses while you're talking about your problems. I'm like, so bored with your
That,
bullshit.
but that has something that to, if somebody came at me and caught me playing the games, immediately go, what does that say about you? What does that say? I'm so fucking bored. I have to play a game. You make no
So
progress. You're the worst type of client. Maybe the best
Yeah,
session ever. Yeah.
you could tell that girl got like that was the number one comment and stuff like that. But I wanted to see the comment like, so what does that tell us about you?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Let's analyze that. All right, and you're so boring that they have to play Angry Birds
Do
to
you,
get through talking to you.
do you remember that movie with Ben Stiller? It's like he goes around the world for to get, I don't know, but it starts
Oh,
out.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
MIDI, something like that.
Yeah, it starts out he's in therapy and he's talking, he's got his back, and the therapist was out for lunch. He was eating a sandwich and he sneaks back in and this session he turns around and something about, yeah, it's truck stop bathroom. And he's like, yeah, truck stop bathrooms is big orgy scene for gay men. He's like, what does that have to do with anything? He's, I'm just saying. That was his commentary for his rambling. It was great. It's
Yeah,
good
I
therapy.
feel for you, dude. I think um, being forced to listen to people is a real burden. You know, like listening should never be forced. You know, like
Agreed.
that seems like punishing people. You know, but I guess that's your line of work, Jay.
Yeah,
So
but most people
why they pay?
ramble. They ramble though. It's amazing to me. I'm so conscious of when I'm rambling and nobody's paying attention, but the vast majority, and we would say what, 80 plus percent, maybe
Yeah.
higher, is just blah, blah, blah. I was like, what are you doing?
Have you considered like giving your patients a shock collar, and anytime they start rambling, you just give them a small, encouraging shock, you know, and then this could train them over many sessions to eventually learn to shut the fuck up, you know, could be effective.
Could be. Could be. That would
Yeah,
be fantastic to actually have it, like mail it to them and like have it in your hand. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, like some BF Skinner, like behavioralist sort of stuff, you know. Hey, I would pay to see that experiment.
To a
I'd like
lesser
to
degree, I could just mute them and be like, look, you're muted again. You're
know.
boring me. Let's talk about something more engaging.
Oh man,
Here we go
Patrice
again.
O'Neal.
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal was legendary for that. Like he would have like these angry women on his podcast, and he'd just be destroying them, and they'd be so frustrated. They'd be screaming into the mic, and he'd be like, you know, turn off your mic, turn off the mic. I'm just trying to teach you something. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to teach you something, you know. And you could feel like the anger radiating from you, taking their voice away,
And
you
what
know.
was the start of all the mute buttons? Do you remember the TV
Oh,
show
there's
that started the mute button? You should know this. You should know this, Dean.
no. I must not be.
Around the Horn, man. It was the
Oh, around
four.
the horn. Yeah, with the
What was
Stat Boy.
Stat
Yeah,
Boy would fucking shut you up.
yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah.
Mute. Boom.
And yeah, man, that was a great show. That was when ESPN was on its game back
There's no
then.
apps. There was nothing. You had to watch it. Yeah.
Everybody, there was like an unspoken rule that show would come on at I think 4 o'clock or something like that, and then 4:30 it'd be PTI and stuff, and just any gym like because I used to go to the YMCA in Dallas and stuff. Every time I go, it was every TV. Everybody was what just kind of side watching it. You know what I mean? Every locker room, side watching. There's Woody Page. There's the shitty guy from Dallas who liked hockey and nobody liked him for that.
He was a fucking
And
loser.
yeah, he
Tim
was a loser.
Kalishaw. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Kalishaw. He was a loser, man. Yeah, you know, just
Austin, Austin, this show, if you want, there's 4 pounds. It gave the greatest first place prize. You know what it was? You don't
I
know.
have no idea.
Fucking
I don't think I've seen it. So
passionless and useless. The first prize was 30 seconds of uninterrupted airtime. You can talk about whatever you want. Anything that comes to mind, you're allowed to ramble
big
to the
audience too.
masses.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's pretty cool. Ramble about anything.
Yeah. That was a good for it was tight, it was clean, it was fast. Like it was a good format for a show, man.
Yeah. And if you insulted the host, he'd mute you and you'd lose points. And it was like, yeah.
Sometimes he would just take points away from you because your points weren't good enough.
Hey, like you didn't like your
I mean,
shirt. He's like,
like
nope.
that argument's bad. Yeah, no. For wearing that shirt, that's -5 right there. You know, I do that
That
with my kids all the time. Like -5. Yeah, he didn't give me candy today. It's my birthday.
absolutely play
Yeah,
favorites, 100%. You pit them against each other. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's the
That's a
game.
good teacher. It's good
Mhm.
teaching about real life, survival of the fittest.
The speaking of history, I have discovered I think it's the greatest podcast ever. Have you guys ever heard of The Rest is History? Probably not.
No.
He's a hardcore history, right? Dan Carlin, you've heard of that, I'm sure, right? That's
I
probably the biggest one.
think if I
Yeah.
saw him, I'd recognize him.
Yeah, he's like an American dude, but I'm telling you, they're these two Oxford dudes, like old men from England, and it's called The Rest is History. It's the greatest podcast I've ever heard in my life. It's so good. It's every single topic they do is unbelievable. And I went on to like a giant tear of like the Hundred Years' War. And their ones on Martin Luther are amazing and all this, but do you know anything about the Hundred Years' War at all? Like anything? Anything about the Hundred Years' War?
Lasted close to
Was it
10
between
decades.
France and England?
Yes.
That's all I know. It was bad,
Well, there
right?
we
It's
go,
bloody. It's terrible.
dude. It was everything in Game of Thrones they took from that. Everything. It
Who
is
won? Who
just
won that? Who
dramatic.
won the war?
Here's how it was. The English were absolutely kicking ass, like just destroying them, destroy every battle. England major victory, and the French win in the end. They fucked it
But
all
they didn't
up.
win shit. They haven't. What have they done? Did they really win? Did they?
Yep, yep. It's the by the end of it, the English lost everything,
Hmm.
But like the characters in it, like there's this guy Edward the Third, right? He's like the ultimate like jock prince. Like he becomes the king like at 16. And he just like does tournaments all the time, and he wins. He wins them all. Like he wins the melees, he wins the joust. He's like the ultimate like I'm the fucking best. And like when he gets power, he gets all of his high school buddies the jobs. You know what I mean? Like all the kids on the football team, he gives them the
Nice.
job and stuff. And he shows up in France and he just wins every battle. Every single like they try every time. And he's just I'm a fucking winner, man. He's got the winner's mentality. And
Hmm.
a couple of like years later, he's at the Battle of Cressy, which is this huge battle. So the English have longbowmen. They're the first ones to have like the proper archers, and stuff. He's got his son now, like, his little 14-year-old son, and he put his son on the front battlefield, the front of the line, like, yeah, you got to be a man, you got to be a knight, that sort of thing. And the enemy like sees like the prince, and they are like charge there, and there's a huge charge. They're all going towards his son, his only son and stuff. And the heralds come up to him. They're like, "Sire, they're attacking your son. Will you send reinforcements?" And he's like, "Let the boy earn his spurs." And he leaves him there to like become a man. And you know what? He wins. He fucking wins. The little prince, he wins. And that becomes the Black Prince, who probably becomes the greatest knight in the history of Christendom. Like just goes everywhere, just killing everybody and never loses a battle
Like
and
the
all that.
mountain. He's the mountain.
He's the mountain. He's the mountain. It's unbelievable. Like these stories are so crazy. They all go on crusades. They go off to Jerusalem. Like he goes off to Jerusalem, brings back a giraffe to England. He's like, yeah, I got a giraffe. Whatever. Like, it's just the stories are unbelievable, and the French just fuck up over and over until Joan of Arc comes along, and she's got like God on her side, and that's the only reason they can win.
Is that what they want? Because of Joan?
Dude, the Joan of Arc story is like, I have never I have never seen history so unbelievably divine. Like there's just miracle after miracle after miracle that happens, and the historians are like, we can't explain it. We can't explain it. Like it's just freaky. And she hears voices in her head, like multiple voices from the time she's 14 onwards. And she's just listening to the voices. The voices are like, yeah, go to this city. Yeah, conquer these people. Yeah, crown this guy king, and all that. And so she could just be a crazy person. But she like gets down on her knees and prays for things to happen, and they happen. Like, we're losing the battle. Pray to God. Suddenly they start winning the battle. We need the winds to change. Pray to God. The winds change. I need this guy to show up. Pray that guy show like it's just crazy shit.
It's so cool. I know so little about it. This this kind of topic came up, not the subject matter, but the fact that I was like, what were you good at in school? I was like, I always liked history. There are people that hate fucking history. I live with one. They're like, I hate history. I'm like, how can you hate history?
Healthy hates history, really.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really
The
interesting.
people that hate history have no interest in anything that's happened. I mean, they are just glib, man. Like, that happened, really? I'm like, I thought that was like basic shit. Basic shit in the past. They are just like nothing.
Being bored, I totally
They
get.
get bored with it. Yes.
Okay, so they're just not entertained. That
They're
sort of thing.
they're bored with the storytelling. Yes.
Okay, well, you haven't had a good storyteller then.
Yeah, fair.
That's key. But to hate that. I mean, I don't
Because
know.
it's boring.
I guess so.
I
I
mean, it's
guess so.
probably a strong term, but no, that's cool, man. That's I didn't know all that shit.
It did.
I never liked American history. I always thought European shit was cooler, Asian shit was cooler. The ancient shit was always more interesting to me than the
Because it
modern.
really is it's only the only thing that history cares about are these powerful families. Like all the millions and millions of peasants are nothing.
Yeah, so this they
Nothing.
should
Like
be. That's right.
there's only one. So here's to tell you, like, so the biggest battle in 100 years of your war is Agincourt. Agincourt. That's like the one Shakespeare does, and all that. But it's basically a gigantic slaughter. Like almost all of the French chivalry gets destroyed by these English longbowmen, And anyways, the only time the peasants are ever mentioned in the history books is at the end of that battle, like out of the mud and the forest. The peasants come to strip the bodies and like take out the teeth and to take the jewelry and the stuff and pawn it off, like little cockroaches coming out to eat it all. You know what I mean? It's just it's amazing. It's an amazing story, man. I was totally sucked into it. It was awesome.
Fucking cool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what do you think of the history being made lately, Dean, with Trump taking Venezuela and threatening to take Greenland? What do the people in China say to this? Do they just think he's just a hype man, or they truly tear? Are they shaking in their boots as they should be?
They say, great, this means we can take Taiwan, you know? Um, pretty much exactly.
Is that what they
But
say? Yeah.
yeah. But this is nothing new. Like the United States did the exact same thing with Guatemala in 1953. Iran, they did the same thing with the CIA-led coup. Like this is nothing new. It's just more blatant. You know, um, even Greenland. Greenland was a U.S. possession, and after World War II, when Denmark was taken by the Nazis, the United States immediately took Greenland, and there was a huge debate about whether the United States should keep it or not. So I'm just saying that, like, even though this is incredible news, and I'm sure it's all anybody wants to talk about in the United States, there's nothing new about this shit. It's just blatant. It's out there because Trump is fucking Trump. United States always has its sticky hands all over the fucking place.
Cookie jar.
Yep, that's
Well,
how they roll.
the main news nowadays is this protester bitch got shot. What Austin, you probably know about. When you give us a synopsis of the dumb lunatic that got killed?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar. I don't know her name, but it's a situation. She was in her car, and it looked like from certain perspectives she was driving towards the ICE agent, and other people were saying she was trying to get away. So there's conflicting views about what exactly happened. But ultimately, a woman was killed by an ICE agent who some people are calling like the modern day Gestapo. So definitely a radical difference of perspective. Some people see it as justified use of force. Some people see it as murder by a psychopathic bootlicking agent of Trump. But
Well, we're
I'm
curious what
good.
Austin thinks. What is your opinion, Mr. Neutral?
Definitely somewhere in the middle. I mean, she was definitely in her vehicle. It looked like she was driving towards him, but kind of around him. And it would be reasonable for that person to think that she's maybe could have injured him and that he was engaging in self-defense, but they were being offensive. I mean, they were definitely going towards her. I don't know the context of why they were like attacking this woman in particular, because that would change things if she was like defending herself or she was being the aggressor in some form or fashion.
Such an Austin answer, right in the middle of nothing. Middle of nothing, man. Let me tell you something. If there's ICE agents trying to make arrest and I block the middle of the street with my SUV and start mouthing off and they tell me to get out of the car and I back out and I peel out right next to one, you're probably gonna get shot. That means she's that. I got no remorse for it. It's stupid. Stupid. You wanted to cause a scene, you caused the scene, and now you're dead. So let's talk
I
about
don't
something else. Yeah.
don't you feel like, I don't know about you guys, but in America, I am always keenly aware of the possibility of being shot. Like that is something I've been in multiple situations in America where my internal caution alarm has just absolutely rung out because the possibility of being shot is in the back of my brain.
We have a self-preservation test, Dean, and that's probably why we're still alive. But these fucking lunatic liberals, they got this martyr syndrome. They're like, oh, I'm gonna be here. I guess they think they're gonna survive it, or they're gonna
Isolate.
be the next George Floyd, except live. They're fucking
Mhm.
stupid, man. This bitch is retarded. This is what this is a mother and a poet. I was like, a mother and a poet? Is that what is that all she did? Couldn't think of anything else, no job. She was a
Yeah,
poet.
when people think of America in 2020, so we had we had a Monday morning meet. There's these state Monday morning meetings or whatever, and the whole school was there, and they showed oh god, they showed 2025 in review. And you know what fucking video they showed? Like they're showing like, music and people dancing and we're building bridges in China and stuff. And you know what they also cut in the middle of that full stop, no blurring?
What did we do that was stupid in America?
Charlie Kirk
Oh,
assassination.
sure.
Just
Sure.
the full blood
Really?
like
Wow.
avalanche going down and stuff like that. And then cut to people dancing to K-pop songs and stuff like that. And I was just like, what? Because that's what they associate with America. That's what they want us to associate with America. That America equals vicious, brutal gun violence, out of control assassinations.
Yeah. Well, it's not too far off. I mean, if you're mouthing off with people with huge guns, it's just like it's not going to end well. And everybody's got a gun in certain parts of the
Yeah,
US.
Charlie Kirk. How dare you mouth off? Yeah.
It's a brutal
Yeah.
death, man. It's a brutal death. Yeah.
Like,
You see, Austin, but you see that we talked about that. I gave an opinion. That's like what I think and feel. You don't seem to understand that concept. You're like, well, I understand the gray and I understand the black and white and meh.
No, well, Chase, you speak from a place of bias, and
No, no,
state
I'm
things from
unbelievably neutral.
a
It's the
passionless
facts.
position. I'm not mired in the subjective delusions that you guys tend to be.
how about this?
But
What if you change the name to spineless and fuckable? Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah, spineless and fuckable. Yeah,
well,
it's
it's
fine.
like a jellyfish a little bit. But Dean, there's a
Supine protoplasmic jelly. Yeah.
yeah, well, that's actually a great name for a band. But I was listening to this lady, Sarah Payne. She's out of the Naval College. Have you heard of her? I tried to bring her up one time, but I couldn't recall her name.
No.
No?
Oh, she's great. I listened to a lecture she did on Mao the other day.
Wait a second. I think I might know who you're talking about. She's the old bitch, ponytail.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah, I do know her. I've seen her in YouTube video recommendations. I've never actually listened to her though, so she must be like in the same genre of people I like. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Well, like she gave like an early history of Mao. Mao hated his father, and he goes off on his own. His
Yeah.
father was like a authoritarian
Made him marry
workman farmer. What's that?
wealthy though. He made him yeah, he was kind of a wealthy pig farmer, but beyond that, he
Swine.
forced him out into marriage, into an arranged marriage. You know, never forgave him for that.
Okay. Yeah, I heard like he became a school teacher or a principal of a school for a little while. I thought that was wild. You had Mao Zedong as your principal. It's like you go in there for
Small
disciplinary action.
small time. It was a small time school in Hunan. But yeah, Mao got into fistfights with his father and with his teachers, like open fistfights, because he said, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like he was so passionate about the things that he believed and stuff like that. Fascinating. So there's a great book. It's totally banned in China. It's like one of the most banned books in all of China. It's called Mao the Untold Story by a journalist. I can't remember her name, but she was kicked out. Her whole family was killed and kicked out during the Cultural Revolution. And she put this book. It will paint Mao like I never left a book feeling so much disgust and hate and admiration at the same time because he's the most brutal human being that ever lived, but he was so effective. I've never seen such power, such unbelievable power consolidated. Like he was a god. He was a god walking amongst us, and he did it through the most vicious, brutal, psychologically mind-bending way you could ever imagine. That book is so good.
Did he have a
So
strong sexual side?
he was fucking like a madman
Yeah.
because by the time he died, he was syphilitic and like dying of. He had like multiple STDs and stuff like that that were
Yeah. They
totally.
don't talk about that. I always wonder those power trip guys. I imagine they just
I mean,
let it
those
loose.
powerful
You let it
person
loose.
probably just have as many as much. Yeah, all the pussy in China. You could
Yeah.
have all of it. Like just
It's,
have it, no questions asked.
it's a lot. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the amount. So like in China, he's from Hunan province, like that. Because I was from who the official fancy steak and is the fancy food in the United States. Hunan food is now the fancy food of China. Like all the fancy restaurants, all the CCP people, like if you're gonna have a fancy meal, you have to go to a Hunan restaurant, and it sucks because Hunan is it's not the best food in China. But just because it's from where's Mal's from, that's the fancy food. That's the kind of power this guy has. Like still to this day, everybody's like, we have to eat it because that's where the leader's from, you
Well,
know.
that power sucks, man. That kind of power sucks. Now, Austin, did we deviate from a point you were trying to make? I feel like you
Yeah,
brought up
well,
Miss
what do you
Payne for a reason.
what kind of point do you have?
Yeah, it was that. How can you paint the U.S. as like maybe bloodthirsty or violent when like the Cultural Revolution within China killed more people than the entirety of World War II did, right? Like, aren't the Chinese themselves a warlike people if that's the kind of thing they're projecting towards the U.S.? And like everyone seems to go through these periods of upheavement and like there's violence and things calm down for a little bit. But perhaps nobody has gone through a greater upheavement than China did during like the 1930s and 40s and 50s, right?
They would say that the violence in the United States is senseless. The violence in China is pointed, right? They would say that the violence. I'm telling you what they would say, right? And by the way, that violence definitely, if it exists today, it's 100% hidden. You know, uh, all of the stuff that happened during the Cultural Revolution, the Communist Revolution, the Great Famine of the 1950s, these were all necessary growing pains that had to happen so that the greatness of China that is today, the new superpower on the scene, had to happen. They would say that the elimination of corruption, the elimination of the ills of society can justify what they would say is disappearing. Yeah. So in America, they see senseless, mindless, unpointed violence that has no objective other than suffering. So that's how they would say it. The Americans have no goal, they have no direction, whereas China does.
Yeah, well, I think my response would be like, we suffer from our ability to have certain rights. Like, of course, if you go in and take all weapons away, but that's part of the Constitution, part of the Bill of Rights to bear arms, and like, but there's negative consequences from that. But you could say we suffer from that, but we're also more free than China because you can't
What makes you
presumably
think
walk
you're so
around.
free? What makes you free? You
I
know?
think that'd be the. I don't think we are actually, and I think like we're everything that's gradually like good about the U.S. is gradually being pulled away from us. All our power, our money is going to the oligarchs within the U.S. and outside of it. But like that
So
would be the argument, right? That
let me
we suffer from the freedom that we have, like that. That's a necessary sacrifice as people get shot. That's what people say about Charlie Kirk. He was
ask
pro
you.
gun, but he died getting shot in the neck by a thing that he was trying to defend that you should have access to.
I I was going through the Vietnam War with my kids this week, and I always like start whenever I'm doing 60s shit. I start off with music from the 60s, and we look at like some lyrics and stuff. And I was doing that old classic for what it's worth. Chase the Buffalo Springfield song. Doom, doom, doom.
Something is happening
Stop,
here.
children. What's that sound? Everybody, look what's going
What
down.
it is not exactly clear.
Yeah. So there's there's a great moment in there where they're like, um, singing, young people speaking their minds, carrying songs. Then they're singing songs and carrying signs. Mostly say "Hooray" for our side, you know. And there's this idea in that song. The reason that song is so great is because it criticizes like the idea that nobody's really paying attention to what's happening. Like the people are dying, that there's like a whole war going on in Vietnam. in the Congo and Guatemala and all these places, right? But in America, all we care about is speaking our mind, holding up our sign, saying "Hooray for our side," right? And the last part is paranoia strikes deep into your life. It'll creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, and the man takes you away. So we always think of, oh, step out of the line and the man takes you away. Oh, that's like China shit, right? But really, what he's saying is actually, the protesting, the saying "Hooray for my side," the saying like "I'm gonna go out into the street, I'm gonna make a big deal, I'm gonna make a martyr out of myself." Actually, that is staying in line. That is what Americans are supposed to do. You know, what's really what you're really not supposed to do is stop and ask serious questions about what's really happening. You know, to really stop. What's that sound? What's really going down? And I think that the illusion of rights, like your right to protest, your right to assemble, your right to bear firearms, these are distractions from real revolutions that could actually happen in the United States and haven't yet. So I don't know, Austin. I see what you're saying, man. But when I look at the United States, I see a broken system where any rights that were intended for the through the Bill of Rights have fundamentally failed the people of the 21st century in the United States. That's me personally.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that. There was a viral video going around of a Chinese guy talking about saying like government officials want you to blame China, they want you to blame other countries, but it's like it's your own people that have sold you out. And that's what I totally agree with that point of view. I don't feel negatively towards Russia or China and think that they're the ones who put us in this situation. I think we put ourselves in the situation, and whoever the people like governing the media were turning everyone against each other and saying, hey, argue about this stuff while we take all your money and all your power. And I don't know what happens at the very end, but I believe that's the position we're in. I don't think it's other countries. I think we ultimately did it to ourselves and the leaders did it to us.
It is interesting because I do think that there's a profound psychological struggle in the United States where, and I think it's deeply Christian, this idea of where do we, um, who is responsible for our sins and where do we place our sins for cleansing, you know? And there's a great, again, this is another one all of my kids. You guys know the song Knocking on Heaven's Door, you know?
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Right. I always thought it was a Guns N' Roses song, but it's a Bob Dylan song. And I know that. Like it was Bob Dylan did the OG version of it. But that reference of knocking on heaven's door, that's from the Bible, Matthew 7. It's like, knock and the door shall be open, ask and you shall receive, right? That idea of the immediacy of satisfaction, right? But then in the 17th century, there's this book called Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, and he talks about an allegory of Christian. Christian has to go through the valley of the shadow of death and the slough of despond. It's a big long book, but there's this moment where he comes to the gates of salvation, and he has to knock on the gates of salvation, and he knocks, and he knocks, and he knocks a third time, and only then does goodwill open the door and say, like, okay, we had to make sure you were real, you know. So there's this idea of, Christ talks of the immediacy. Just knock and the door will be open. And then this idea of, well, actually, you have to prove that you're legit. You have to knock, knock, knock. And that's where the song comes from, like, Mama, take these guns from me. I don't need them anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. The idea of your guilt is so profound that forgiveness is not possible, you know? And I really do believe that song comes out in the middle of the Vietnam War. I believe that is indicative of how America genuinely feels. That there is such profound guilt within the American psyche, and there is no outlet where people feel that there is forgiveness for that, you know? And that leads to all the fucking problems we have today. All the racial tension, all the tension we have with our own government, the tensions we have with other nations, this idea that forgiveness is an impossibility for the American character because that long dark cloud is coming down, And I really do believe that unless there's a fundamental answer for that question, the guilt will only get more and more profound, and the people of the United States will only get darker and darker and darker. Thank you. That's my rant for the day.
Thank you, Professor.
Yes. Thank you
What do
for
you make of that,
going to
Chase?
A to Z lyrics on Google. Thank you, A to Z
There's
lyrics. Thank
there's nothing more disgusting than people that are just drenched in guilt and shame. And it's just and it comes out in the worst. They don't look at themselves. It's external. Let me fix the country. I'm like, how can you fix the country? You're a fuck up. Doing it, you're a fucking mom and a poet. That's what you are. You don't even have a real job and you're gonna interfere in an ICE fucking raid or arrest. It's like you're useless, man. But you're trying to save the world and be a martyr. It's the martyr syndrome shit, man. I have
See,
met
and
a lot of young people in this country that feel they should sacrifice themselves in a
because
way.
something has to be done. There has to be a savior. You
It's because
know,
they're broken people, man. They have no
it,
idea who
it,
they are.
again, that song that says, "Mama, take these guns." Mama, take this badge from me. Like, why, Mama? Yeah, because when you call out to your mother, it's through desperation, right? I cannot save myself, but Mama can comfort me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because
When
in
we do
the
call our mom, she says, "What did you do?" And you're like, "Well,
yes, exactly, right.
yeah,
But when you
yeah."
in the scripture, it's all the father, the father, the father, and we don't want no one wants to call out to their father either because father implies shame, right? Like a father would smack you across the head,
It's
right?
exactly
Saying
what
you
he
fucked
does.
up.
Calls you
Exactly,
degenerate,
right?
and you're not
But
my seed, and all
it
those
all
things.
comes back to this idea, which Austin was talking about, which is it all forces the guilt, the shame to be redirected from the self towards someone else. Mama, take this away. Baba, take this away. That sort of thing. And there's a fundamental psychological problem here, man. And I'm telling you that America has to sort it out because if they don't, it's just gonna get
Well,
worse.
luckily we have Trump in charge. He's going to take the lead, and we don't have to think. He's just going to think for us, and this
I
is a
don't
good
think
thing.
Trump is a Christ-like figure, Chase. I don't know. Maybe he would think
At
that, but
least once every 2 weeks, I comment on a Trump article and call him Christ-like, and there's always at least 30 comments of just disgust. It's fantastic.
Jay, it's Jay. He
People can't
loves
handle it, man.
loves it. Loves this man.
There's a
Loves
there's a
it.
lecture on YouTube. The guy claimed to be a Russian like psychological warfare agent. Like it was from like the 1980s. But he's talking about how do you take over a country, and he was talking about doing it over 30 like a 30-40 year period. You go through all these stages, but one of those stages is demoralization. Like you get into a culture and you make them despise themselves, you make them question their fundamental values, and like you lay the groundwork to the point where they hate themselves and they weaken themselves through internal conflict. And it seems like I hate to put like an agent behind this because these things could conceivably happen naturally just by like a natural course of events, but it seems like that is the situation, like internal conflict, weakening of uh, connective values. So we don't really have a unified country anymore. That's like what is a country, but like collective agreements about social standards, social contracts, and so forth, shared values and projects that you're engaged in. And then when all that is lost, you don't really have a country anymore. You break into civil wars. Like people have been talking. It's such a wild idea. People talking about like, oh, a civil war might actually break out. Like I don't know how that happens in such an integrated culture when like it's not just south versus or north versus south. It's literally like your neighbor to your left and your neighbor to your right. It's way more integrated than that. It would be absolute chaos if something like that broke out. But I do think we are certainly at the edge of something, a precipice that we could potentially break into outright chaos. And I think are things keeping us from that. Like when there's outright chaos, like Netflix goes down. And it's sad to say, I think like very basic
That's what breaks
things.
America. Netflix going down. Oh my God.
Well,
Come
I
get
think
the shotguns. Uh,
that that could lead to social revolution, but it could also keep us from falling into outright madness because people would be like, okay, when we're killing each other, like no one shows up to turn the power on, so we're gonna pull back from that. And like that's my theory is like the basic conveniences are gonna be the thing keeping people from engaging in outright violence. Yeah.
I think that there's definitely an argument to be made that there has to be outside influences that are impact making things worse. But I think that two things that I read a book called The Age of Acrimony a long time ago. America's always been just insanely divisive and like volatile. Like in the late 19th century, political assassinations were happening every week. Every week, just people just shooting. There'd be like a town hall, just shoot the fucking politician. So like America's always been pretty volatile. But we haven't had time to adjust to this crazy technological revolution where everybody's opinions are going online and you can find your community online. And there's this idea of like the economy making things work. Like there's a multitude of factors going on. And you're right, Austin. It's got to be leaning towards something. But what I hope is that there will be some kind of figure that'll rise from the ashes, a Jean of Arc kind of figure who will come and lead America forward, because that's what we need, man. That's how America works. We need a leader, man. And
We got
unfortunately,
one. We got one. We got a great one.
Austin, I know. I've been waiting for Austin to step up to the plate, but it hasn't happened yet. Actually,
Look,
when I think of Christ-like, Bobby's got that look. Now that I think about it, if we're talking about a Christ-like figure, Bobby could
that's
be one.
that's about it. Yeah.
Listen, guys, we just got to get our waves together. Let's see if we can just get these. If we can get the right wave frequency in America, we'll be good. You know.
But America's pretty close. I'm never worried in America because everything's pretty divided. I've never felt it like, man, the tidal wave is building. It's like 90-10. Like it's never come close, ever. It's
Mm.
always pretty close to split. And if it's close to split, one neighbor supports you, the other one calls you a lunatic, and you're not going to get anywhere with that. You're not going to get
Yeah,
anywhere.
I don't feel the anger. I feel the depression. I feel the incredible sadness,
Hopelessness.
the
Hopelessness.
hopelessness, but I don't feel the anger. Like
Yeah,
a
I
little
feel the
bit.
tapping
Um,
out. Yeah.
yeah, that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
Tapping out. Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
not, yeah. Yeah, weird. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, nah. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I still love this. I was watching I watched this week. I watched Mike Nolan's Weekend Off. That's what I watched.
One of the
Mike.
greatest shows ever made. One of the greatest shows ever made. Austin, you ever seen that, Austin?
No, yeah,
Ready?
of course he hadn't seen that. No. Just go ahead and
No,
say no.
I would
Yeah.
I want to talk about Escape from LA. I mean, Steve watched that the other day, but I want to hear your thing
With Kurt
first, Chase.
Russell? With Kurt
One of the
Russell?
worst
Yes.
movies ever made.
Do you know that the
And Bruce
basketball
Campbell.
scene, the basketball scene, he made every shot. Every shot in the basketball scene.
That sounds like an urban myth,
No,
Chase. I don't
nah, I've
know.
seen the interview with him. He was specific. That was in the contract. He wanted to make everyone.
Practicing that,
It
man.
is a horrible movie. It's fucking
I
awful.
Chase, just because you brought up the Charlie Kirk thing, right? About the football, throwing the football and stuff like
God,
that. If
presidential
you
throw.
if you were running for president, let's pretend Chase was a different person and stuff like that, but you had to have that moment just to show the men in the audience that okay, he's legit. What would you do? What would you show off?
I would time it for the debate where the guy that was obviously kicking my ass, somebody in the audience would throw a football at me and I'd catch it. And then
Perfect
he'd
catch.
be in the
Perfect
back
catch.
and I toss it right back to him in a perfect spiral. And people would be like, wow. And I'm like,
That
let's
would
see,
do
let's see my opponent do that. And he would try to work
it.
around it and they throw it, he'd drop it, and he'd just do that little girl throw back.
Oh
And it would be
man,
over.
that would be campaign ending for sure. Dropping a football from your
Or
opponent. Oh,
throwing it like a girl. That would be
oh
campaign
man.
ending. Yes.
Give you the
Yeah. Yeah.
he makes that noise. It's,
That'd do it, man. Absolutely. So yeah, I would strategically plan that in front of the nation. Like
these
when
are
you,
this is how America works, man. You can't be doing shit
I'm
like that.
American. I know my people. I don't
A
care
lot of
about anything
people
else.
in the conspiracy community believe that Trump set up his own attempted assassination in order to have a moment like that. There wasn't a football thrown at him, but there were bullets. But his reaction and throwing the fist in the air and saying "fight, fight, fight."
So manly, man.
Well,
That
it's
was
almost
that was an iconic moment. It was an
it,
iconic moment.
it's almost too iconic and too picturesque, and it's so exemplary and such good propaganda that
Austin,
the question
somebody
arises.
died. Somebody died.
Oh,
Stop
did
this
they, Chase?
nonsense.
Were you
Lost part of
there?
his ear
Were you
too,
there, Chase?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he lost part of his ear that we can't tell, but he lost part of his ear too. This
Yeah.
guy
So
is a
he
stud.
he
No
Shoot,
gets shot in
trauma,
the air.
is he
nothing.
missing part of his ear? I never noticed because he's got the hair, but like, is it
No,
his ear?
Dean, he's
He had a
not. It looks
band-aid on it for a while, and then it's I don't know.
A
Yeah.
lot of
like
blood. A lot of blood. I remember the blood, like maybe he had one of those like capsules, one of those theater capsules of blood, like
Although you want to call it fake, if that shit was real, that was seriously that was some of the manliest shit I've ever seen in my life. Someone tries to shoot you, and you're just like, fuck it. Let's keep going. That made inches away from your brain. It's like, fuck it, let's keep going. If you, all right, if it was staged, whatever, that's a hell of a stage to, but if it was real, that's boss shit right there, man. That earned him, that won him the election, that right there, man. That won him
Well,
the-
that's what I'm saying. And George Bush had a moment like that
You said
too.
you voted for him right after that,
Shoe.
Austin. You
Talking
told
about
me.
the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say the shoe. So
Shoe. I remember
W,
the shoe. I remember that, man. He
That was a
dodged it.
great duck.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was on it. Yeah.
I remember that.
Dodged
Damn,
it.
maybe you're right, Chase. This is what America. I don't remember anything else that George W. did, but I do remember that
He
shoe.
was agile. I remember that, and I was proud of
Oh,
him. Yeah. I want a
oh, oh.
president that can duck and die. Like I thought him in dodgeballs. He's probably pretty good when he was younger, you know?
There was the. I remember this is the classic line was like the John Kerry George Bush election way
Mm.
back in the day. I remember the line people going out. Who would you rather have a beer with? And overwhelmingly, it was Bush.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, they were like, yeah, W, W. Like people didn't like his policies, but I think they liked him.
Yep.
Like they were like, yeah, George seems cool. There was another great moment with George where he got asked about like some kind of terrorist attack on the golf course and stuff, and he came up, gave his few lines. He says, "Now watch this drive."
Yeah.
Smacks it out. I was like, "Damn, what a badass man!" That's cool.
That's all America is a good one-liner and you can win an election. That's it. Throw a spiral. Simple as
Now
that.
watch this drive.
Yeah.
If you were President Chase and let's say like Xi or Putin came up to you and challenged you to a tennis match, would you accept?
Oh yeah.
Wow. I know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I would be prepped though, man. Yeah, I would have that on live TV. Yeah.
Call up Agassi. I need you to come out of retirement. You got to.
Calling out questionable balls that might have been in.
By the way, I was going to ask. I forgot about this. Chase, did you know that Andre Agassi has a book? Have you heard of this? The Andre Agassi.
Every athlete does usually, yeah.
But I've been told that the Agassi book is the best of them
Really?
all
Really?
because he never wanted to play tennis. He hated it. He
I
said
knew
he
he was
always
forced
hated
into
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he hated it. He's like, he had a fucking pushy father. He demanded it. He's like, I never enjoyed it. I hated every second of it. I was like, fuck. So I kind of want to read the Andre Agassi book. Apparently, it's really good. Like, it's just about this self-hating guy. He's like, I fucking hated every.
I wonder if he appreciates it now.
Mm, I don't know. Why? I don't know. Does he comment? Does he do any comment like McElroy or anything like that? Or nah, he's totally out of it.
It's interesting because my cousin here, she's a dentist, but she hates being a dentist and she wanted to do the artistic shit. And after doing the artistic shit, now it's like, man, everybody in the artistic shit is like clueless. They follow like a youthful dream, and then when it ends, they're like, "Oh, I can't do
Totally.
this forever." They're
Yeah.
like, She's like, "I'm kind of grateful that I have that now," but it's like she was forced into it,
Right.
So it's like it's interesting. I wonder if insight comes later on. I don't know. Maybe not.
Could
Maybe.
be.
Maybe.
I always respected Agassi. I liked how he played. I
Great
think he
name. It's a great name.
great name. I respect that he shaved his head. And
Gave
they
up the locks. He did.
gave it. He gave him, and man, that was a good set of locks, man. It was a good set of locks.
The interesting thing with him, he had a pivot in his career. He was long hair and he was outspoken. He was not quite McEnroe, but he would yell at refs.
Yep.
He would get
Yeah.
angry, and then he shaved his head and he became like almost Zen. He's
Yeah.
just like, man.
That's why
And
I want
it
to read this book. I want to find out. I want to find out what exactly he was going through his head. You know
he had a
what I
lot of
mean?
shifts, man. Interesting individual. Yeah, I love the name though. Andre Agassi's a great name.
What tennis player did you respect the most? Out of curiosity, like of all the ones you watch, which one were you like? This guy, I like the way he plays. You know,
It's not so much like the best one. The best one that'll go down in history is that Djokovic guy.
Djokovic. Yeah,
But
I mean, he got the vote.
the best one was Nadal because he was 6'2", and he could, if he was in America, he would have been an NFL safety. He was a freak athlete, but his body was brittle. Every year he had to miss a big tournament because his knees, because his elbows, and he was super superstitious. Like he wouldn't step on lines. He had to comb his
Always
hair a
been.
certain way with the towel. But
Yeah.
when he was healthy, I don't think anybody could. He was the best athlete that's ever played tennis. And if his body held up, he would have smashed the record. But
Best on clay. Best to ever play
he
on
was a
clay.
freak athlete, but he was brittle. He was fucking
Yeah.
brittle. Yeah.
I always liked watching tennis. I don't know why. There's something about I could feel the the shift in a game. Like you could feel somebody slowly starting to win or slowly starting to lose, and I liked that. Like you could
I
feel shifts.
don't ever play tennis competitively because there's one thing you need money. You need to play a lot because rhythm is a real thing. Like you can just feel the stroke, and if you don't play for a couple weeks, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that was always my problem. I was like, man, I had it, but the biggest one was it never felt pressure in a team sport, but man, serving with hundreds of people watching you for the match, it's just like, like you just can't help but shake. It's just palpable. You can feel the eyes on you when it's just you, like putting on a green to
I'd
win.
say, I wonder what's more pressure, serving or putting
I
on a
think
green.
putting, because serving, you just got to get it in. Putting, you got to nail it. So
Yeah, you nail it, man. Oof, oof.
couldn't do it. I always admired Tiger Woods because he was such a stud. Such a
Well,
stud.
that was a great example of Snake Plissken making those shots, because we're talking about prestige and money and all that from these guys. The Snake made shots while thinking he was dying from a virus that was injected into him by the government,
What?
the
Who
theocratic
is this?
government.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Escape
Snake
from LA, Chase. Come on.
God.
Snake Plissken.
Kurt Russell.
One-eyed snake, yeah.
So he might not have been a professional basketball player, but he reached a peak of athletic performance because no one plays basketball with a gun to their head, Chase. And Snake Plissken did, and he won.
Well,
And
let's
I was
say
thinking,
who doesn't like Kurt Russell? Seriously. I mean,
Kurt
Kurt
Russell.
Russell. Nobody's gonna. Who? Have you ever met anybody say I don't like Kurt Russell?
Chase, you know who else is in that movie? Another fantastic superstar. Yeah. The great Bruce Campbell. Bruce
Really?
Campbell.
Really?
He's the plastic surgeon in
I
LA.
haven't seen this movie in so long.
Yeah, the
No.
ultimate plastic surgeon.
Bruce
It's
Campbell's D-level superstar, man. Yeah.
sea level. Come on, get up to sea level, man. Bubba Hotep. Come on, that's a classic, man.
That
Yeah,
is a great movie. Yeah.
well, the great Steve Buscemi was also in that movie as well. I don't know if you recall his part.
Austin, what are you doing watching a movie like that with Steve? What are you
using
doing,
his
man?
time wisely. That's what he's doing. Yeah, yeah.
No, Snake Plissken is a Schopenhauerian hero that has overcome the fear of death, and I think this is why people they might not have known that why like the reasons why he was such a hero or anti-hero or whatever. But I noticed this man was unflappable. In the face of almost certain death, he never shook like Chase did trying to serve in front of 200 people, exposing his weakness and his emotionality. Snake Plissken had transcended the level of the animal, and he could engage in violence if he wanted to. But notice he didn't go around looking for it, did he? No.
I don't remember. Fair point, I guess. I have always like that movie Escape from Out. Does LA break off from the continental US? Like what happens? Like I can't remember.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's an earthquake, and the U.S. mainland is taken over by a theocratic government that is like very
Yeah.
authoritarian and Christian. And his daughter, the president's daughter in the movie, uh, takes
Uh-huh. Yeah.
like a super weapon and takes it to the regime that is in L.A. at the time on the now island of
I
L.A.
I just remember from that movie, I remember LA and California breaking off, and I'm like, I hope that happens. And I think most people that saw that movie, it's like if California was lost and we had to nuke it, it's not a big deal. Like it's just like maybe that's the best thing that could happen is just kind of let them kind of fend for themselves out there in that little world they've created. That's let it break
Hey,
off. Perfect.
this is the same guy who made the thing. You know, like it's the same guy.
Really?
Yeah, John
John
Carpenter.
Carpenter.
It
Yeah,
does okay. Really?
yeah, yeah. Escape from New York is considered a cult classic. Escape from LA is considered one of the worst movies of all time. But maybe it's still worth exploring, and seeing what it's all about.
Kurt Russell single-handedly makes that movie worth, and Steve Buscemi makes
As he
that
does
movie.
actually, as they both do in every movie. Steve Buscemi's an underrated actor, man. He's fucking great. I've never seen him fuck up a role. He's
Well,
always good.
that is a man that knows he has to be perfect because he's hideous.
Yeah.
That is that
Remember Fargo? They
when
kept
you know
saying,
you're
"Yeah,
that
funny
ugly.
looking,
Yeah,
funny looking, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
funny look." He accepts it. He accepts it. You
He's
know.
a fucking hideous man, but he nailed it. I watched some 1920s show with him. I watched like all the seasons because he was in it because he's an exceptional actor. Him,
Yeah,
him,
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, him, Daniel Day-Lewis, and that guy that was in that was the presidential show. What's his name?
What?
Perfect Mind? No, God damn it. What's his name, man? The guy
Yeah, who you're talking about.
who what's his name, Dean? Come on,
What show? What show?
A
What?
Beautiful Mind, right?
Oh, Russell Crowe?
No,
Yeah.
not that one. Not that guy. No. The really good actor. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you gotta give me a TV show, man.
The TV show where he's the advisor, he's the senator to the president, and
Oh, Kevin Spacey?
Kevin Spacey's a fucking
Ah,
phenomenal actor,
House of
man.
Cards, man.
House of
Yeah.
Cards, Spacey, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Buscemi, whatever his name is. You know who? Oh man, this is today. This pissed me the fuck off. I fucking saw that fucking idiot. What's his name? Tatum? No, that I can't remember these people's names. They're so insignificant. He's a horrible.
I put you in the hole, man. You can
Oh
really
my
fuck up your
God.
memory.
Yeah, what's that ugly that did the Magic Mike? What's his name?
Kenny Tatum.
Tatum?
Yeah, he is the worst actor I've ever seen. I know he's acting. Every single time he talks, I'm like, I know you're acting.
He's just
Like,
hot. That's all. Yeah.
he's not even hot. I mean, it's just like he's a decent looking guy that's a horrible actor. I don't know how people like that make it that far. Every single time he speaks, I'm like, I can tell you're fucking awful at this. Yeah, but somehow you're in movies still. It
He was
angers
in
me.
Magic Mike and 21 Jump Street. So like it was these are chick things, like the chicks like him,
He's awful.
uh,
Awful human
uh,
being. Yeah.
uh, uh.
A lot of jealousy coming from Chase right now.
It's just a horrible actor, man. I don't know. If you suck at something, how do you get moving? How do you keep getting jobs? I don't understand it. It just blows my mind.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's good to see somebody in their prime though, man. Like that a movie I've never really I keep trying to like this movie, but I just can't. The Big Lebowski, like
Never liked it that much either.
yeah, I can't get it. People keep saying it's so amazing. I'm like,
No.
I see parts of it that are great though. But let me tell you, Steve Buscemi, who has such a small role in that movie, just watch him in that movie, and you will be amazed at the acting he does. Like he only has a few fucking lines, but he's making facial expressions and doing stuff in the background and stuff, and you realize, holy shit, this guy's like making the scene just by being there, he is making this movie better. So I can appreciate a
Yeah.
great actor.
He had a presence. I'd say great. Remember, we were trying to. Our cousin showed me the movie recently. It's called Anything, Everything, and
Yeah, you
something.
already talked about that. Yeah,
It's
said you
awful.
hate it.
Oh, it was awful, bro. It was awful. But remember that great one we saw with Judge Dredd? Remember how good that was?
That was a great movie, man.
I
Yeah.
do you
All
think
over.
somebody saw that and saw Mama as that chick and put her in Game of Thrones? Do you think
I
that
think that
was
happened after Game of Thrones. I think
no? But it was well before Game of Thrones, brother.
was it? Oh,
Absolutely, yes.
well, she was great. She's a great act. What happened to her? She was great, man.
She
Like
is a
she's doing
great
more stuff.
evil bitch. She is
Yeah.
a fantastic evil
Role,
bitch.
she role.
God, I
You know.
just unbelievable presence. That chick.
Actors must get frustrated, like the George Costanza problem. Like if you're Jason Alexander, the people will only be able to see you as George.
No, he should be grateful. He's hideous, fat, and
Yeah, be
short. And
grateful.
the fact that people love you, you should be grateful. You should be
Yes, so.
grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to
What
do it.
other
Just
role would you ever play? What other role could you ever play besides comic relief?
maybe like okay, think about like I'm trying to think of a versatile actor, and I'm kind of drawing a blank. I don't know if I can
Find me
think of.
another short, fat, bald one that nails it. Yeah.
You think of an actor who seamlessly goes between villain and hero and love interest and side character. Like, can you think of somebody like that?
The Batman, who's a in the Dark Knight. What was his name? Christian Bale. I feel like he does that pretty well.
Trying to remember what other movies he did. American Psycho.
I
That's
like
it. That's
Bale. I like Bale. I don't mind him.
okay.
I haven't seen too much of his stuff though. Yeah.
Doesn't blow me away. He's not Oscar worthy. He's not a Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman. That's a good one. He can go between roles very, very
Who's
well.
this? Who's Gary Oldman?
Exactly. He was Dracula, and he was Winston Churchill in that Darkest Hour
Oh,
movie.
oh yeah, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What
He's
was that
pretty.
guy that was John Adams? Who was that guy?
Oh, he's great. Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, he's good. He's an
He's
ugly,
short,
short
fat,
man.
bald. Yeah, he's short, bald, and bald, and he does great
He's
movies, man.
he's pretty versatile for his limited looks. That's impressive.
Answer found. Well, point to Chase. Well done, sir. Yeah, oh, that was exactly what I was looking for. He's a great one. Did you ever see that movie Sideways?
That was a great movie. Yeah,
I loved that movie. You know what I liked about that movie? So in that movie, they bashed
yeah, they
Merlot
do.
wine.
They
And
do.
apparently, listen, two things happened. First of all, mom stopped drinking Merlot. And she had always drunk Merlot their whole life.
Merlot was
And she's
awful. I
like,
remember they'll try this. I'm like, this is fucking awful. I don't know how you drink
and
this
I,
shit.
and I saw a video on that. Apparently, like after that movie, the sales of Merlot across the world just
That's shit. It's
people were
bitter.
like,
It's tart. It's
because he
horrible.
talks so much shit about Merlot and stuff. I was like, oh my God, that's funny.
You know what I remember from that movie? That scene where they're going in to meet the chicks, and he's like, if someone drinks Merlot, I'm fucking leaving. And I'm like, damn, it must be bad. This guy's a
Powerful.
connoisseur.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
can
And
never
the other
touch it.
week, I had some people for Christmas. They gave me a very nice bottle of wine. Like I'm not really a wine drinker, but
Not
it was
either.
just fucking. It was like from 2015. This wine, it was Castilian Spanish wine. I was like, "Where'd you get this?" Like, "Yeah, my sister works in wine, but we don't drink. So, you want this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll drink." Man, I drank that bottle. It was one of the loveliest buzzes I've had in a long time. It was lovely.
Let
Just
me ask you, Austin, do you drink at all? No, that's I
No,
think.
I don't think I've had alcohol besides a piece of cake that had alcohol in it for
Well,
like at least a decade.
I'll get back to the wine because also, I mean, Dean, I feel like I should be more well-rounded. I should know wine more. The problem with wine is most of it sucks, and the good it sneaks up on you so quick. One
mm,
glass, and you're all, it's not like a beer. I can have
yeah.
3 beers and I'm fine. You have 3 glasses of wine, you're fucked. So,
Yeah, it's definitely like an event.
yeah.
You have to understand that you can't just have a glass of wine. You have to sit down and be like, all right, I'm going to get a little wasted this evening. It has to be an agreement.
It's it,
That's the only time you should do it. You can't just have a glass of wine.
what the sip and pace of a beer versus wine is completely
Not
different.
even close. Not
No,
even.
and that's the problem. You go from
Yeah.
beer to wine, it's like, whoa, this I'm getting a little gone a little too far, a little too
It's
fast.
the Uncle Thomas phenomenon. You can drink Coors Light all day nonstop and maintain your buzz.
It's fantastic because he's always coherent in the conversation, even if he can't stand. He's still making sense. Like I
Yeah.
really respect that about him. And
Yeah.
Austin, maybe you should start drinking more. Maybe that would be a good thing. Maybe that would help you form an
That's a
opinion.
family tradition, man.
An
Keep it up.
opinion would be good out of you on occasion. I wonder
Yeah.
what kind of opinions would come out of Austin if he was Chad.
You
Chase,
know
I
what?
got
That's a
something to
good
tell
thing.
you, Chase, and I've been holding it in
Yes.
for years. I'm like, go ahead, tell me how much
Yes.
you love me. And he'd be
Yes.
like,
This is our next podcast. For God's sakes, Austin, let's have a different version of you come out. All right. I want to see the other side, the dark side come out,
the opinions.
Yeah. Like let's hear about how much you love Nick Fuentes. Yeah. I really want to hear about it.
He's okay. He's demonized. He's not as bad as people say.
Uh,
I look, Chase. You asked me about things that I don't care to have an opinion about because they're pointless to me. They don't affect me, and I don't think about them. So I'm just going to take the middle ground to not offend anybody
well,
because I don't care.
let's try the little experiment next week. We'll take some shots. I'll take a shot, you take a shot, and then we'll see if those opinions stay neutral. Yeah,
Look, I mean,
sounds
ask
like
me
a
who's a
plan.
like why Schopenhauer is preferable to Nietzsche. Like ask me something I actually care about, and I might give you a real answer. But here's the thing, Chase, you're not deep enough to mine the depths of my soul, and you can't get down to the gold because
Are you going to
you
drink or
don't
not?
you don't have the thank you, Dean. I should have been cut off there. No, I'm not going to because I don't like it, and I think it's for
Marijuana?
weak. I think it's for weak
Marijuana?
people. No, there's nothing good about alcohol, in my opinion. And maybe very in very particular instances, but no, I've even quit marijuana. I'm sober. Meditation is my drug. I don't need anything else as far as that goes because I'm perfectly content. I got a lot of nice things in my life right now, and I don't need drugs, Dean. Unlike Chase here, who needs to cope with his superficiality and all that
I
nonsense,
need
and
it.
needs
I do. Yep, you're right.
I
he
miss it.
needs it.
What it's worth. I really miss it.
I'm still waiting on this federal fucking job, and I can't smoke weed. And it's fucking killing me, man. It's killing me.
That explains the tension. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Like it.
As soon as I
Feel it.
pass that drug test,
Like he's clenching his butthole all day.
it's the worst type of way to live, or else I'd be fucking trying to meditate and useless shit, So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the truth. I don't digest alcohol well, so there's no pull to it. It makes me feel
It's that
Got
sick.
that
Native
Indian. Got
American
the
in you.
Indian.
This
Yeah. That
Native
Indian.
Americans are allergic to it.
That
Yeah.
Chippewa.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Chippewa.
And when I'm meditating consistently, and this is true for like
It's
the
all
cannabis as
lies.
well,
It's
I
all
just feel
lies.
like no desire to take drugs. Like it just takes it out of me.
Well, you don't
And
have a desire for anything. You don't have a desire for an opinion. So maybe the drugs will help you formulate one. Maybe that's
no,
what you
Chase,
need. You
I don't
need
have a
drugs.
desire to have an opinion about stupid. No, I don't want to say it like that. About
Get it
things that
like a.
I don't care about.
Get
I
it
don't
like
care
a
about
vision
ice.
quest. A vision quest. You know what I mean? Like where you're going out to talk with the spirits of nature. You know, and you're just using the fire water to get there. It could be good. It could be good.
I think it could potentially be good for some people, but it's not good for me. And I really think because I know a lot of people like my father, talking about somebody who drank wine a lot, it really put a bad taste in my mouth of the associations I have in my mind with alcohol are not good. And I don't digest it well. And if I was gonna do a drug, I wouldn't do that one. There's
Have
better
you ever
drugs
thought?
out there.
What are you guys' opinions about like you're with a drunk and you decide like I'm gonna go to their level? You know what I mean? Like let just to interact with them at their level. You know, like what do you think about that idea? Is that a bad idea or no? It's an interesting experience, or I don't
If
know.
I'm having a good time and I got the time, why not? It's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe you
Yeah.
need a bonding experience with Marty.
I
You know.
well, I think people can get jaded from because I understand Austin's perspective. His dad
Mhm.
was a lovey-dovey drunk. It was kind of awful. Much better than a fucking violent drunk. I will say that though. So it left a sour taste in his mouth. But on occasion, man, like I've had some good times in Asia with people who are just like, you know what, you're gonna go hard. All right, I'll go hard. Like you're a cool guy. You're not fucking crazy. We'll have a good time. Have a good
Yeah,
time with it, man. Yeah, why not?
I'm a little scared, Austin, because so I'm going to San Diego briefly to hang out with like my old gay best friend, but he is a real drunk. Like he drinks hard, like so hard.
Functional alcoholic.
Functional alcoholic for sure. Like he shows up at work drunk, like all that sort of stuff. So
Hungover.
I almost never drink, but with him, there's no choice. I have to. It's just how it's gonna go. I'm gonna know it's gonna be great, and I know I'm gonna be totally miserable the next day, but it's just one of those things you have to do. You know, it's like New Year's Eve. There's no choice.
So,
You
Austin,
know,
we're trying to give you insight. We're trying to expand your mind. Is this hitting at all, or are you still pretty closed off to still just kind of
you know he is, Jace. It's all right.
plebeian?
His heart is closed. You know.
To alcohol, yes. I mean, there's other things that open people up. I'd be much more inclined to do. I just don't like it. I don't like anything about it. And like as far as getting on people, my experience with alcohol is people ramble incoherently at you. They tell you that they love you and they tell you that they hate you, and
And you
it
can do the same
recedes.
back.
You're
Right
what
back
I
at him.
what I've learned about people who are chronically intoxicated, they recede as people, and you're talking to alcohol, like you're talking to the drug, because like that's not who they really are, and like a lot of the time they don't even remember what they talked to you about. It's like we're not. I'm having a conversation with someone whose presence has receded from the world for a little bit because I think alcohol is a great escape. It hits a lot of different parts of the brain, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. Like it's like a full body high. I totally get why people do it, but I just think it's an escape mechanism, and very rarely is it used properly. I think it's like it's a social lubricant and not much. It's not really good for much else, in my opinion.
All right, you're done?
Well, I think
Okay.
we should ban it
Good,
entirely.
good, 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 good. Remember we were talking about the shot collar? I think that could be a good thing, just this idea of the ramble stop meter. That'd be good. I was giving you fantastic analysis of scripture and knocking on heaven's door, and you're just telling me how you're not gonna fucking drink,
Yeah.
But,
Well, Jesus drank, Austin. You're
yeah,
bashing Jesus.
Jesus fucking turned water into wine, Austin. Your savior.
If
All right.
Jesus
Yeah.
turned water into wine, you'd be like, no, thank you. I don't want to taste. I don't want to taste the divine wine. It wouldn't be any good. It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, they drink wine because it purified the water, and I think it was really weak wine too.
Bullshit. It's divine wine. It's the best type of wine.
That's kind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that sad and depressing note, why don't we end it there, ladies and gentlemen? boys and girls, thank you for listening to the Divine Brothers podcast. We'll be seeing you next time. Bye bye.